So, in the last episode, well, this happened. So I figured I could turn this into an opportunity to talk on a basic level on how to orient 3D printed parts for strength. Now I won't be going over how to make as clean of a print as possible because there's already so much content online about 3D printing and chasing really nice looking prints, so there's no reason for me to go over it. Throughout the video, I'm going to be comparing a 3D print to a piece of wood because they are similar in that they have a grain for wood and layer lines for 3D prints. So, in wood, it's sort of like a rope, in the fact that there are fibers that all go in the same direction and are attached together in order to make a larger object. When you cut wood with a sharp object, it's easier to cut in the same direction as the grain because you are essentially just splitting apart the fibers, similar to how the end of a rope frays, which is why wood can be split with an axe to create smaller logs. The same principle works for 3D prints because they are created in layers. At this point, you can probably see where I'm going. So, a 3D print will be weaker and easier to break with the layer lines and vice versa. So now we know why the hammer I printed broke so easily. The stress that is put on it every time you pull back the hammer was going with the grain. So basically, it just split at its thinnest point and the layers came apart. So now that we understand this, I can re-slice the print in a way that it will be stronger. The hard part, though, is doing that while still keeping a clean print, especially considering that it needs to be precise and the shape of the hammer in general. Alright, so I'm here in the slicer, and I repositioned the hammer the same way it was before. Keep in mind that the layer lines will always go horizontally, so here you can see that the stress on the hammer will go the same way the layer lines are printed, which causes it to be weaker. And here is the revised print, where the layer lines go against the forces that are on the hammer. Some other things you can do to make it more strong is to print it at a hotter temperature, which improves the overall layer adhesion and overall structural integrity. Although it does make it look a little bit weirder. But hey, it's always a little bit of a trade-off between good-looking prints and strong prints. Just kind of the nature of 3D printing. Some other things you can do is make sure your printer is well maintained and tuned correctly so that you'll have really precise prints that are also stronger. Other than that, there's obviously making sure you're at the right settings and using good materials and high quality filaments. Anyways, now that I've got this sliced, I am going to head off and print it. See you guys next week. So, you got to the end of the video. Give yourself a pat on the back. Most people probably don't have the attention span for that. Anyways, goodbye. I will see you in next week's video. Thanks for watching. Bunger.